Hello and welcome to a Midweek Wardy's Waffle Farm update. You can see behind me I've got an electric Polaris. Later on in this update we'll take a look at that and how we've got this. Also, we've been spraying the sugar beet the other night. We've got 3 fields on the heavy land that we haven't been able to spray yet because of the weather, and so the weeds have got really large. We're looking at that. Also have a look at 1 or 2 of the wheat fields we've got and the stage they're at, and looking at how the ear is developing, the ear of wheat is developing. And we've been rolling the last of the bean fields. We haven't rolled up to now because of the weather. That's the Capulet beans, the ones that make baked beans. We managed to get those rolled before rain a couple of days ago. And also today we've been loading some barley out, and that is feed barley that has not made the malting grades. We'll take a look at why that failed the malting grade. Anyway, that's it for this midweek update. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll see you at the end, and thanks for watching. It's 9:15, bank holiday Monday evening. And Ruben's arrived about an hour ago, which is fantastic. Thanks, Ruben, for spraying the sugar beet. It's been so windy today. We haven't been able to do any spraying today. Tom and myself managed to get the wheels changed on the sprayer, and so glad we did, because we've got a wet spot here that you saw in the video on Sunday. And I'll just show you this, what it's like, because it is still wet, but Ruben's gone round it. But it just shows the value of having wide tyres, because it is still really wet. But it's great news that we're getting this done, because we've got rain coming, I think, tomorrow afternoon. That's Tuesday afternoon. You can see this dark patch here. This is where the water was stood on Sunday that you saw. And look at this, the beauty of these wide tyres. Ruben's gone round this spot, and quite rightly so, because it is still wet. You can just see a little bit of water stood there, but you listen to this if I get near to it. There you go, look at that, how wet that is. We need this sugar beet to establish really quickly, and when the roots get down it will dry these wet patches out. But it's one of these situations that we need this season to be over with to get the land put right, really. There is a fat hen, just look at that. That's now got the chemical on it, which will be starting to work in it. It will shut it down fairly quickly and stop it growing, but it will need another herbicide. I'll pull the root out there. There we go. It will need another herbicide within the next 7 days to try and deal with that. But you can just see, looking at that, look at the root in that. That is really healthy plant. But because of the moisture, that is really soft growing at the minute as such, and it will be taking up the chemical, but it is really large. It will need this herbicide in another 7 days, and probably a third one, it's probably another 10 days after that, to really deal with all these big weeds. There we are, Ruben's just going to the last sugar beet field on this heavy land. Got 3 fields down here, back of the main farm. Just come across the lane from the sugar beet back into the Capulet beans. These will roll tomorrow before the rain. So pleased with these when you look at these, this finished surface to what they were like 2 weeks ago. Let's just see if I can find, yeah, it's dry. Top now, they should roll quite well tomorrow. There we go. Just starting to grow. There we go. It just shows how moist it is. You can see the dark patch there on the corner of this sugar beet field, and there's even a spot of water stood there. Generally, it's improved a lot over the last couple of days. You can see the blue boom lights that's on our sprayer that's showing up the nozzles, so Ruben can see from the cab if they're blocked or not. Just see what a difference that makes. Nala in the Polaris. It's great here. We can fold this seat up and she can fit in here easily. Just looking at the beet that Ruben sprayed last night, looking down the rows, you can see the green weeds between the rows, but the rest of it's looking good. this needs spraying again in about a week's time to really try and get on top of these. Time's marching on. It's soon June when the wheat crops start to put their ears out, and they're really on the way now. You can't believe after the season we've had how early things are. I think it's going to be an early harvest for the fields we have got a crop in. This is a field of wheat. This is one of our fields that we had quite a bit of water stood on. It was sugar beet in it last year, but I'll just show you how it really is marching on, and the ears are just starting to come out. You can see we've got some bare patches or some light coloured areas where there wasn't there wasn't enough crop here to put anything on, and there's some weeds growing here. You can see now quite a lot of rubbish, but if the weeds weren't here, this area would be really thin. So this is why it's pale, because it's had no nitrogen and it's had no herbicides. But just looking at the crop, you can see the ears just starting to show now. That's an ear of wheat. Obviously the grains are in there, but they're nowhere near ready yet. They'll just be all soft and squishy. And you've got one like that. The ear is embedded in the stem just under my finger, and in a minute I'll cut that open. You can see where the ear is, but you can just see here how they're coming out. And this top leaf, this is what we call the flag leaf, and this one leaf, keeping that clean is so important, because that one leaf gives us 50% of the yield, and the leaf underneath that, leaf 2 as we call that gives us another 20% yield. So those top 2 leaves give us 70% of the yield, so it's vital we keep those clean for photosynthesis. Just show there. And leaf 3 obviously gives a bit more yield than leaf 4 as well, but just shows you the importance of using chemistry, fungicides for keeping disease out and keeping it clean to maximise yield. Just unfolding the booms. Just all done from switches inside the cab. You can see how it goes from transport to field work in a matter of a minute. That's it, opened out to 32 metres wide. We'll lower it down and back into the corner. There is a bit of breeze getting up now, which is, we're lucky we've only got these 2 fields to finish off and do, but we don't want any wind. Just looking at this one leaf or plant I've taken out, just interesting to see, can you see that crease mark just there? That is frost that's done that. When that leaf is coming through the stem, and that part would be, say, just coming through the stem there, and we've got a frost at night, it just nips up the stem, and that's what causes that crease in the leaf just there. So just looking at this, if I can do it one-handed, which I can't, but the ear is in there, so I'll just start to uncover it. Just broken the stem, and you can see that is the ear inside there. Just done a bit more. If I can do that one-handed, there is the ear. You can see there's the ear in case. There we are, get that out. There. That is the ear of wheat that will eventually grow out the top here, and it will grow out there and come up above the flag leaf. But there's all grains, or will be grains in there, and that's how we get the grains at harvest time that we combine. So looking at one of the sugar beet fields, you can see all the green there between the rows. That's all weeds. So just looking down here, we've got different weed spectrums we had in the other field. When you look, this is bindweed, and some quite large bindweeds as well that will take some dealing with, but it's just been too wet to get on here any sooner. Here's the sugar beet. So that's a sugar beet plant, and that is a weed, bindweed, that we don't want. Another one there, another one there. So interesting that yeah, when you look there, sugar beet, bindweed. And this is where science, if you like, and chemistry just amazes me, but that we'll put a herbicide, a product on that won't kill that, but it will kill that. I think that's just fantastic for us. When you look down the row here, full. One other job that didn't get done because of the rain last week after the beans, we managed to get the beans planted, as you remember seeing in the update on Sunday. The only thing what I didn't tell you, and a few people have asked, is what rainfall did we eventually get, because Tom finished drilling in the rain. We got 24 millimeters over the next day, so really glad we got the drilling done, because we wouldn't have had chance since. Anyway, there's 1/3 we didn't get rolled, and Tom's just rolling it now, and we've got more rain coming at lunchtime today. This is Tuesday. It's not doing too much to the soil, but it's just levelling some of the lumps out and just levelling the surface, making it better for when we harvest these beans, because they grow very low to the floor. You can see also the benefit of having twin wheels on the tractor all round, front and back. Actually, you can just see the rolls create a little bow wave in front of them. I'll see if I can show you. Those star-shaped rings in the middle are called breaker rings, and you can see they move about and they help break clods and keep the rolls clean if it's a bit tacky. Just got to turn slowly at the end, because you can dig a hole on that inside roll if you're not careful, because that one there has to go back on itself when it goes back up the field the other way, and if you're not careful you can just see it starts to go back unless you turn. Yeah, no, Tom's done that really well. You just need to just do it right at the end, and then it doesn't dig a hole. Very little, you can just see there. Our Polaris is ready for a service, so Ian from Fairview Farm, where we got it from, has brought this for us to use while the servicing hours. This is an electric one, which is great. Give that a go. So that's it. I've just been down the lane with it, and it is just impressive. So, Ian, whereabouts are the batteries on it for a start?
The batteries are underneath the seat on this machine.
Yeah.
This is the twin battery, so you've got two batteries with
yep.
a range of 80 miles.
That's on a full charge?
That's on a full charge.
Yeah.
110 horsepower.
Right.
And as you've seen yourself, it's super quiet.
Yeah, oh, it's unbelievable. Yeah.
So top speed's 56 miles an hour in this.
Right. And the wheels, I see it's got different wheels onto what ours has got.
Yes,
different tyres.
I've fitted these on a more road biased tyre. It makes it a bit quieter, and then this one here we use a lot for demo work, so it does a lot of road work.
Yeah.
And these are a very good capable tyre for road work.
Yeah.
Underneath here you have an electric motor.
Yeah.
And the electric motor and gearbox. This is gearbox driven. The electric motor is connected to the gearbox with a belt.
Yeah.
Non-CVT. It's just a direct drive belt.
Yeah. And
the motor controller controls your speed.
And if you, for charging it, if it's dead empty to charging full, how many hours?
6.5 hours.
Right, impressive. Brilliant. Right, well, we'll have a go with it for a few days and see what we think. It's brilliant. If anybody's interested, want to have a look at one of these, this is where you need to be. Have a word with Ian, he'll sort you out. And I mean, when you look in the cab's virtually identical to ours. And one thing I like about these machines is the fact you've got a lift up bench seat, which is really good. So Nala likes being in the bottom there. This one's got a extra radio. It's got top spec radio. What else is in there, Ian?
You've got radio. You've got GPS on here.
Yeah.
You can also got Bluetooth connectivity.
Yeah.
And also you've got your controls and your dials, and also you can limit the speed on this by pin code.
Right.
Also use the speed limit for spraying, etc.
And then you've got all your various controls here that ours has got. Handbrake there, the gear selector there, nice digital dash as well as a dial dash.
You've got controls here for how much power you're using, and then how much battery storage you've got.
Yeah.
At the minute this battery's full.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, really nice environment in here. Looking at charging it, this is the charging cable device. Normal 13 amp plug on the end. What's this, like a transformer type?
This is the regulator for your electricity, and then it's a normal
plug there, and it goes in there,
straight in here
like that,
like so. And then that's it locked.
And then just plug that in. And then you were saying the safety feature is?
The safety feature is, unless you will not unplug until you turn the key on.
Yeah.
So if you want to go away for the day and happen to leave it unplugged in,
yeah,
you will not be able to take it unless you switch the key off.
Right, crikey. Brilliant, that's a good way. Right, we'll get it's fully charged, so it's ready to use. We're just loading ours up and taking it away, so no matter how long it will be now, we've got this electric one to try. We've got another lorry come for some barley. We've still got some of the malting barley we had from last harvest left over, but it failed for malting, and so it's gone for feed. And this was one of the problems with late drilled spring barley, and this is why we set the date of the 20th of April and didn't put any after that, because it failed on the germination test because of the lateness it was planted, was one of the main reasons. You can see we've got a pipe under the crop here. That's what we do. Nala, come here. That's what we do to cool this. We've got the air tunnel there. We've got a hole in there and another hole there. And we put the pipes on the ground and then put the crop over the top of it. And you see this harvest how we fill, those new viewers of the channel. It's a bit awkward emptying out, as you can see, but we've got marks on the wall so we know where the pipes are. And there is one more buried. There's one more buried underneath here. So where the black lines are there, that white mark on the tin, where that black line is, there's another pipe under the crop there, and where that one is, you can see there. We've got a bit of barley in there, but we'll pull that out and we'll get more of it cleared away. But it's got an air, it's got little slots cut in it, can't quite see it here, but slots cut in it. When you put the fan on in the tunnel and it blows air down the pipes. You can just see the airline gaps through here, look. You can just see a bit of daylight through this pipe. This is, we just store them in this corner here. And this is what they're like. This is the diameter of them. I think that should nearly be the last bucket full of that load. That's the siren going off, so it's full. So just going to pull on the weigh bridge, get that sampled and weighed. Nala's going around to see we've got a new toy. I don't know whether any of you have noticed lately, but I've been limping quite a bit for the last few months, and I've been to see a specialist and I've got a trapped nerve in my back. So I've just come to Peterborough Hospital to have an MRI scan, and then I've got another appointment with the specialist on the 8th of June to see what it is. But some days I've got such pain, it comes right down into my left thigh. And some days I can't hardly walk, so I have to take painkillers. Hopefully I can get it sorted out. But I've just had the scan, it only took 20 minutes to do it, so we'll see what the results are in a week's time.